Hey everyone, it's Legal Mindset here. Andrew Esquire, American attorney over here in Asia with a premiere. This is a update coming to you during the middle of the day, when a time when most people are sleeping in the US and out there doing stuff in Asia. But I wanted to bring it to you because we have news that Vitali, while Vitali himself is in jail, his criminal henchman, his local thug, is on the run. We're going to talk today about Vitali's crimes and how his criminal accomplice can be culpable for those crimes. In fact, some of those crimes he specifically violated himself through his actions. So, as you may or may not know, Vitali was locked up after a criminal spree, both in Boracay and across Manila, culminating in a series of crimes across Bonifacio Global City, BGC, as it's called, and I'll shorthand it here, a place where I used to live for a couple months. That was resulting in him being locked up, being detained. He is awaiting prosecution. They are not going to deport Vitali. He is going to stay within a Filipino jail until he gets his trial, which could be 2 to 3 years, and then his sentence, which is expected to be somewhere between 5 years to maybe 10 years. So we're looking at could be 20, but most people have predicted somewhere between 5 and 10 is reasonable amount of time that he might catch from those charges. Now, that said, while Vitali is behind bars, and we are all happy about that here on this channel. In fact, if you like Vitali being behind bars, smash that like button. But his criminal accomplices, his local people that helped him, are the reason why he was able to do what he did. Without those people enabling him and showing him where to go, telling him the places to go, directing him, and most importantly, holding the camera, many of these crimes wouldn't be committed. In fact, some of these crimes, such as videotaping people without permission or videotaping in a certain area that he wasn't allowed to videotape in, those things were directly culpable on the cameraman, on the person who was holding that camera, who is a local by the name of Christopher P. Dantes, aka Sly Kane, as he goes by online, and he is still on Kick. Now, Vitali has been, I believe, clicked off that platform by now, but this guy, Sly Kane, is still streaming on that platform. But let's give you a reminder as to his culpability as to this whole incident. So I'm going to play a clip. This is from Grandpa Atozi's coverage of this, and you're going to just see exactly how involved this cameraman is, Sly Kane, Christopher P. Dantes.
Arc is back. Demon time.
Saan po Shangri-La, kuya? Shangri-La?
So, bro, I know where we are.
Okay.
Don't you want to scare me?
Oh, damn, this is cardio today, chat.
There he is. That's Christopher B. Dantes, Sly Kane, right there in form. Once again, he's the one holding the camera when Vitali says demon time. When it's demon time, Sly Kane is there to help out Vitali. Let's continue this and watch what he says about knowingly. Watch what he knows he did wrong.
Ain't that some shit?
Just film it.
All right.
Boss, let me see.
Oh my God, so many laws have been broken today.
Dude, he's so many laws have been broken today. There was so many laws have been broken today. And Atozi cut off at the same time I was going to cut off. But he knew. And when you have that, what we call mens rea, the state of mind where you know that you broke laws and you did it willingly. And you even saw that interaction. Vitali said, film it. And he bent the knee and said, yes, sir, I'm going to film this for you. Right? He did it for him, knowing he was breaking the law. He knew intentionally what he was doing. We knew that the laws were broken. In fact, he knew that many laws were broken, not just one. And he did it anyways. He never stopped. He never turned the camera off. He never told Vitali to chill. He never said, hey, wait a minute, we shouldn't do this. He never stopped him when he threatened to rob a woman. He never stopped him when he threatened to try to take a guard's gun, when he tried to take the motorbike, when he took the fan. None of this other stuff did he ever stop Vitali. He just let him do whatever he was going to do and held the camera for him. And he knew better. And he could have at any point cut the stream. He could have terminated the video. He could have turned it off. He could have done whatever, right? And that would have been something he could have done, but he decided not to do that. Now, the president, and as well as several other people in the government, have made announcements that they are indeed looking for the accomplice of Vitali, which is Christopher P. Dantes. So he, after this went down, went on the run. Now you can also see, I'm going to pull up here. This is another photo of him so you guys can get a good, nice picture of him here. Obviously, I know we have a lot of viewers over in the Philippines. By the way, big shout out to all my Pinoy brothers and sisters. You guys have been great on this, helping me with translations whenever there is stuff in Tagalog. You guys are great to send me the translations, and thank you so much for that. I know there'll be some stuff I'm going to ask you for help on in the future. So thank you over there in the Philippines. But if you guys see him, obviously, you know what to do. You know it's time to report him to police. You know it's time to call up and say, hey, we know where this guy is. Come pick him up. Come find him because he is on the run. And how do we know he's on the run? Well, actually, his own streaming has given him away. One thing, and you're going to see this even in the comments of his chat here, is streamers tell on themselves. And because IRL streamers have to stream IRL, they have to stream in real life, they are ultimately condemned to eventually be caught because somebody that is watching them, including law enforcement, is going to look at their streams, is going to look at what they're doing and be able to tell where they are. The power of the internet is with even a little bit of information, even with a tiny bit of information, people will be able to find where you are. People can do geoguessing pretty accurately just based on limited information. But in this case, he gave away a ton of information about where he was recently, hiding outside of Manila. Now, I'm going to show the video where he really gives it away. This is his vacation video. So he's out here. He filmed this just on April 13th, right? And you're going to see, you even see in the chat, I'm going to read some of these chats, which are actually funny. Somebody asked why he left Manila. And then he says, too much heat, probably. And then Kripke says, someone told me you're on the lam. Yeah, everybody, because he is on the lam. He is running from the cops. He is running from, the justice system that is looking for him. And then even right here, it says, saying, are you not going to stream in Manila? No, because the second he goes back to Manila, he knows somebody is going to catch him. Somebody's going to find him. Somebody's going to report him, right? They probably have a warrant out for him, or whatever, whatever equivalency is going on there in Manila. So he would definitely get caught if he slips up in Manila. So instead, he decided to go to a private resort. We're going to show little details, and we're going to then show you how it was found. So you see here, I'm not going to play the audio because there's some copyright music in the background, so I don't want to get hit on that. But you can see the buildings in the background. And because you can see those buildings in the background, that was enough information, guys. The buildings in the background and the beach and kind of the layout, that was enough to be able to tell exactly where he was. And from that information, the netizens out there, within a day, 1 day, of him being there, identified him as staying at Maya's little private resort. Now, by the way, it seems like a fine institution. I'm not going to besmirch their resort. They probably had no idea who he was or whatever, but they were able to figure that out very, very easily, that it was Maya's little private resort down there in San Vicente, Besong, Padre Burgos, Quezon. So he was hanging out there. And how do they know? Well, when you look at the buildings, they're kind of specific, and you can see them in this, see a very similar shot in this video from their own resort Facebook page. So if you go to their Facebook page here and you just play this video, we're going to play this here. You're able to see pretty much the same beach, the tables that he was at. And then when you turn around, boom, there it is. You see that same building over there? It's the exact same building, 1 for 1. W internet. This is the power of the internet. They see the one building and they're like, oh, that's it. They're able to spot it right from that building. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? So immediately he is doxxed. People report him to authorities. That information gets out there, and he runs away immediately the same day, within hours. Once again, I showed you this before, and it's funny again. You get him on the run in his car. He had gone there with his family, but he packs up his entire family. He cuts the vacation short and he hits the road. And he is running away right here from everybody because he knows he has to get out of there before the cops show up and before they haul him off. One of the fun facts I also think here is it's funny in the chat. They also acknowledge his association with ICE and the CX crew. And, you know, once again, it shows you this broader connection of this henchman to people that are causing problems and being a nuisance all around Asia. So this guy, Christopher P. Dantes, if you are in the Philippines and you see this guy, obviously you should report this guy. He is definitely on the run. He is definitely wanted by Philippine authorities. And that's information that I think people would want to know. Now, I do imagine he's probably going to try to hide out in the countryside or hide out somewhere. But hey, there's people out in the countryside watching this too, spreading this information. And if you guys want to spread this video and share this video out, I'm making it shorter so it's easier to get out. And remember, without what this guy did, without him helping, he wouldn't have harassed Filipinos. He wouldn't have threatened to rob somebody. He wouldn't have pretty much made the whole nation into a disgrace by allowing that behavior as a local. Right, as a local, saying, I'm going to enable this guy who came to mock our country, to mock Filipinos and profit off of it on the internet for money, and say, we're going to mock you for and literally treat you as a lower form, right? Like I can just come here and do whatever I want because I'm this Russian American guy, and then I can just do whatever I want and run off, and we're going to profit off of it. That's what he thought he was going to do. He thought he was going to make a lot of money on that. And now Vitali is paying the price. It's time for Christopher B. Dantes, aka Sly Kane, to pay the price as well. Guys, once again, thank you for joining. Catch you on the next one.